Continuing in Likutei Moharan, Torah Aleph, Siman Hey. We said that a person needs to get to proper fear of Hashem. In order to do that, you have to get rid of all the three bad midas of Taivas Mammon, Taivas Achila, and Taivas Mishka: food, money, and women. The person has to get rid of all these three bad midas that he has inside of his heart, and then they'll be placed. Then he'll be able to have Yiras Hashem. And if he has Yiras Hashem, then he's going to be able to recognize which are the Mefusamim of Sheker, which are the famous false leaders, and which are famous true leaders. Attach yourself to the true leaders, and you'll be able to attach yourself to all of Klal Yisrael, and then the Malachim won't be able to push you down. So the Takin Shalosh Midas Elu, these three midas, which we said are necessary to fix in order to get Yiras Hashem, Aidei Das. The way we do this is through a das, through knowledge. That we have to take the das and bring it into our hearts. As it says in the pasuk, that you should know today, know with your das, with your knowledge, and bring that knowledge into your heart. It's necessary to bring this das into the leiv, and through bringing the das into your heart, through this a person will be zoche to be metaken these shalosh midas, as we're going to explain in more detail. Because the das is a bechina of the three mochin, the three crevices of the skull. Das, he's saying, is bechina of the three mochin, which are chachma, bina, and das. So das is like a combination of all of them kind of put together. And also inside the skull, there are three different crevices. There's the place for the right side of the brain, the left side of the brain, and the center. The das really rests in the center, but he's saying here that the das is b'chin of plus mochin. There's an aspect of that das is a combination of all the three mochin, and we have to draw that das of all the three mochin into our hearts. And these three aspects of the das, which are the three mochin, which are encompassed in das, are the bechina are related to the three regalim, the shalosh regalim. Because each one of the regalim is an inyan of hischadshus hamochin, a refreshing of the brain, refreshing of the mind. Because we need because every one of the shalosh regalim, we get a new seichel, we get a new type of intelligence, and this type of intelligence, this type of das, enables us to be metaken one of these three midas, as we're going to explain more detail. In each one of the three regalim, we have the ability to be metaken one of these three midas. Each midah represents relates to one of the aspects of das, and each one of the aspects of das relate to one of the shalosh regalim. And in each one of the regalim, we have the schus of being mamshich a certain one of the three mochin, the three aspects of das, into ourselves. And through that, we're metaken one of the three bad midas. We're going to explain each one of them have a specific midah that they relate to, and we're going to explain how they connect. And therefore, we have to be very, very careful in Kavod Yom Tov. The Kabbalah Shalosh Regalim Karoi. In order to be Mekabel, we should be very careful to be Mechabed and receive and do the Shalosh Regalim, the three main Regalim Karoi, three Shalosh Regalim, the three festivals, which is Sukkot, Shavuos, and Pesach. So this. We have to understand that this is not. We're not talking about IQ. You're not necessarily going to get a big IQ if you do these mitzvahs. Not necessarily. It could be that you will, but the mitzvahs are, we're not saying that you're going to all of a sudden have a big expansion of wisdom or expansion of understanding or expansion of das or memory. It's not something that, we're not speaking about the physical aspect, we're speaking about the ruchnis, that a person will have an inspiration injected into him, a certain type of kedusha injected into him, which is a kedusha that relates to these specifically these parts of a person's mind. So, I mean, it would seem that these aspects would be perfected. A person's intelligence. We've spoken about this. The Rebbe speaks about this in many places. That intelligence is not something that you have just if you have a high IQ. That's not real intelligence. Real intelligence is when a person has the ability to think in avodas Hashem, meaning to know how to do avodas Hashem or to understand intricacies of avodas Hashem, and that's of about Hashem and kedusha, and that's real intelligence. Because regular intelligence, a person can be very smart, and if he uses his intelligence to make atom bombs and to fight with people and to steal, so it's not necessarily real. We wouldn't really call that intelligence. A person who's a thief and he figures out how to rob a really big bank isn't really called intelligence. All he's doing is he's probably just ruining his life. Even according to like any normal person, he's probably just going to get himself into bigger trouble than he's ever imagined if he gets caught, or he'll live in fear the rest of his life. So it seems like a very smart thing that he's created, but he's going to ruin himself. It's not called real intelligence unless it brings you to true good, to something which is ultimately good. And the only thing that's ultimately good is Hashem, is Torah mitzvahs. We are created to be mis'aneg al Hashem, to take pleasure with Hashem, and anything that brings us closer to that is called intelligence. Any intelligence that will allow us to come close to Hashem is called real intelligence, and anything that's not that, any type of intelligence which is a type of chachma which doesn't lead us towards Hashem is not called intelligence at all. It's actually foolishness. The fact that a person is filling up his mind and wasting his intelligence on things which are not bringing him to Hashem is something that's unintelligent. So here, this is the framework that we're speaking about here in intelligence, and also we're speaking here about very other very high things. Ha'ara is conscious of a person's neshama and mochin and things that aren't so easy to understand. But certainly these things are true also on a very simple level, that a person's simple mochin, his intelligence of kedusha, will be strengthened, will be great. I think the Rebbe says it, possibly even Mefurish in a different place, that when he speaks about the ha'aras of the chagim, that on the chag of Sukkot and Shavuos and Pesach Nisim happened, and these Nisim make it clear to us and strengthen our emunah and make our even intelligence stronger. I'm not so sure he connects it to intelligence there, I don't remember, but it certainly has the effect of making our intelligence more sharpened and more in tune with kedusha and less in tune with gashmis and shtus, that foolishness that have nothing to do with serving Hashem. The fact that we see miracles and we see clearly that Hashem does exist, that itself is intelligence. That's a very, very clear type of intelligence, recognizing facts and recognizing truth about Hashem existing. And the Chag itself has that ability even through the simple understanding of the Chag, the simple meaning of the Chag. The Pesach we had in Tzias Mitzrayim, we were taken out of Mitzrayim, was a big nisim happened. And in Sukkot we had the Anoni cover that surrounded us. These are big nisim, and these itself, a person thinks about it and contemplates it when he sits in the sukkah, they'll bring about a very deep recognition, and this recognition is intelligence, true intelligence. So that's another. I'm just trying to bring it down for us so we can understand how it is that these chagim will bring us true intelligence. So, now we're going to explain each of the three regalim and how they connect to specific midas and how they fix the specific midas. Through the mitzvah of the shalosh regalim, we're zochet to be metaken the three midas. Now, Rav Nosson says in Kitzur L'Kutei Moharan, he says, what exactly do we have to do on the shalosh regalim to bring this intelligence and to fix these midas? He says it's specifically all the mitzvahs of the Chag themselves. That means dressing yourself up properly with nice clothes, and davening and eating properly the way you're supposed to on a Chag, and all the special mitzvahs and the simcha that comes with that are associated with that Chag, like on Sukkot shaking lulav and esrog and making a proper sukkah. These are things that are specifically mesubah for bringing these types of kedusha, these types of they automatically bring these types of mochin into a person. This type of chachma bin das, so the three aspects of das that will be attacking the three bad midas that we spoke about before. Now he's going to explain specifically which one of the three regalim are attacking which one of the bad midas. Ki b'Pesach nistaken tavas mama. On Pesach, a person is zochet to be metaken tavas mama. K'mo shekasu Hashem nasan eschen ha'am b'nei Mitzrayim v'yishalom b'al korcham. The pasuk says that Hashem gave the charm of the nation, meaning the people of the nation, people of Klal Yisrael became charming in the eyes of the Mitzrim, and the Mitzrim lent us all sorts of gold and silver and expensive kelim and clothes, and they lent it to us bal korcham, against our will, kihem lo ratzu klal, because the Yidden, the Jews, did not want to receive any of this money. They didn't want all this extra money. This was kiaz nistak in taivas mammon, because then Taivas Mammon was fixed. Just like back then, when we left Yetzias Mitzrayim, Taivas Mammon we completely were metaking Taivas Mammon. So too, this Ha'ara comes back and shines on us even today when we have Pesach, and we're able to be metaking Taivas Mammon. So they didn't want they're not wanting the money and not wanting to borrow from the Mitzrayim, even though the Mitzrayim wanted to lend them, was a sign, was an inyan of tikkun taivas mammon. They did not have extra taiva for money. If they did, they obviously would have taken as much gold and silver as they could possibly grab. Kihem lo ratzu klal, ki az nistaken taivas mammon, u'b'shvuos nistaken taivas mishkal, and in Shavuos were mitaken taivas mishkal, v'b'chinas dam necha v'nasechalav, as in the inyan of dam necha v'nasechalav. We said before, we explained in the previous year that blood of a woman congeals or hardens or is transformed into milk, and that's where milk comes from in the woman, specifically from dam. And here in Shavuos, there's the post can bring that there's a bechina. I think they bring it from the Zohar that it's that the 7 weeks that we wait, that we count Sfiras Omer, is a bechina of Sheva Nakim, of the 7 clean days that a woman has to count before she is able to tovel in the mikvah and to purify herself. And this is an aspect of the cleansing of blood, the blood leaving and replacing that with milk. Meaning the blood is midas hadin and the milk is midas harachamim, and after the 7 days she purifies herself. She's now out of the days of blood, so to speak, and now she's into more a stage of milk. There are also other things that are brought down more in detail in the Gemara about this inyan of dam necha v'nasechalav. So, in any case, Shavuos is connected to this, and this is why on Shavuos we also have the minhag of eating milk specifically. Because it shows again that we're leaving the 7 days and we're now in a more purified state where it's more connected to chalav as opposed to milk, as opposed to blood. And in Sukkos we have the ability to perfect Taivas Achila. Because Sukkos is called Chag Asif, the Chag where we gather all of the time. It's a chag that we have in the time when we gather all the produce together. It's the time of the reaping. She'osef kol minei meichel. That in the beginning of the fall is the time where all the produce, the wheat. I don't know exactly which type of produce, but it's gathered, and then at that time, this is the beginning of tikkun taivas achila. Ki ino dama mishi yesh lo pas pasal mishi ino. Because there's no comparison. A person who has pas pasal and a person who doesn't. The person who has bread in his basket, so to speak, he's much less hungry than a person who doesn't have bread in his basket. So here, since on Sukkot, everyone has, or it's a time where there is bread in the basket, there is produce that, let's say for a farmer at least, a farmer has collected the produce and now has this produce sitting in his warehouse, so automatically his desire for food is not going to be so strong because he has a tremendous amount of bread in his basket, so to speak. So this sukkah we see the sukkah is connected to Tikkun Teves Achila. Before we go on, the Rebbe is not necessarily saying that because on Sukkot you're going to have a lot of food in your house, then you're not going to be so hungry. He's not saying that. He's just showing a remez how in the Psukim we see that Sukkot is connected to Tikkun of Teves Achila. So we're going to leave this, the rest of this parak for the rest of this simon for the next year.